Hi, welcome to the Nutrition Basics series of Oscar and Molly. And today we're interviewing Ken Cowan, Vice President of Sales of Biologic Vet. And he's going to explain to us a little bit more about what fats are and why it's important to supplement. So welcome, Ken. My first comment about fats would be that fats are one of the best energy sources for our bodies, and it actually is used before protein and carbohydrates when it comes to our dogs. So it's really essential to make sure that our dogs are getting enough fats in their diet. Now, I guess my question to you, Ken, would be, how can you get the right amount of fats and the proper fats when there's so much confusion about omegas and fats and amino acids? Can you explain a little bit more about what fats are?
Sure, again, Sylvie. Okay, so fatty acids, fats, we need these. Our dogs need these every day of their life. They're found in foods like nuts, seeds. They're found in grains and green foods, flesh, whole produce, whole meat, and they're needed for every body function known to man: brain development, nerve development, cell growth, cell development, bone, reducing inflammation, function, just everything you can imagine. We require these fats, and you have to get them every day of your life. The pet needs them every day of their life in their food. If they're eating whole food, like I said, if they're eating raw meat, or they're eating raw seeds, some nuts, some grain, when it's fresh and prepared in the right way, they'll get these fatty acids every day, providing that those foods are planted and grown and fed, like the animals, in a free range organic way, not manipulated in feedlots and in greenhouses. And that's why when you eat that kind of food that is manipulated, grown in greenhouses, grown in feedlots, and not grown as nature intended, the profile of those whole foods are actually not balanced, and they don't have enough omega-3s in them. They usually have too much omega-6. And the reason they have too much omega-6 is because, take a case of a cattle beast, that cattle will be grain-fed, and if it's grain-fed, it's probably corn-fed, and corn is very high in omega-3, very low in high in omega-6, very low in omega-3, and so therefore the animal becomes the corn and becomes high omega-6, low 3. The dog eats the beef if it's raw, and then again it becomes high in omega-6 and low in omega-3. That's the problem. And if you process the food, those wonderful whole foods, put it into a slurry and then bake it, then you damage those fatty acids. You damage the fatty acids that were grown in the wrong way, produced in the wrong way, and damage them on top of that. So therefore, it's hard to live that lifestyle. Some of us do, but you have to be a fanatic almost in today's times to live like that. And most of us can't, or can't afford to live that way. So therefore, you supplement your foods that we can buy. You do the best you can. You supplement with a good fatty acid supplement that will provide a fresh omega-3, omega-6 in a balanced ratio. Then you don't have to do the tough road.
Yeah. So I guess then the fats or the omegas come from food and whole food. And the only way, so I guess if you ate the perfect diet and you were eating animals that grazed all day and weren't fed corn, and you were eating vegetables that were grown in proper nature organically, then you wouldn't really need to supplement because omega-3s and 6 would be balanced. And so because that's very difficult to achieve, you're seeing supplementation is important so that we can receive the right amount of omegas in proper balance. Correct?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. It's
okay.
That simple.
Okay. So I think that makes a little more sense. So essentially, it is important for life itself to sustain a well, healthy body to actually have proper levels of omegas, which would be omega-3 and 6, and it's very difficult to attain that through diet just because the animal or the plant itself isn't in its full potential, and so that's why it's important to supplement with fats. And I know for me, my favorite fat choice of omegas would be the biologic vet, which is why I'm glad that we're speaking today, and I really appreciate your conversation today, and I look forward to speaking to you about vitamins and minerals as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Ken.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.